In today's video, I have completely changed the world of Football Manager with this custom database. Thanks to my database wizard, CTxCB, and over 1.5 million changes to the game, every single player in this database is now a free transfer. So Erling Haaland is one of the hottest players in the market, as 20 clubs are currently set to compete for his signature, but who will finally land him? We've gone through every club in the world to make sure they have adequate transfer funds and wage budgets to sign players respective to their club reputation. So don't go thinking you guys are going to scoop up Erling Haaland if you're managing someone in the National League, because obviously your budget is kind of appropriate to the level that you're at. But what we're going to do, we are going to simulate through to the start of the season and maybe take a look at some of the teams that you are able to create with this, because it's going to be a massive shake-up in the world of football. Okay, so we are here in the Premier League. Now, I'm not going to go through every single team in the game because that would be quite silly, but we've had some fixtures kick off already, and the Premier League is already looking pretty interesting. Liverpool top the league with their victory. Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea round off the top four. But stuff that I can see already, Romelu Lukaku is now the striker for Arsenal. Liverpool have Xavi Simons. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 is over at Luton with the goals as well. But we're going to go through some of these teams. We're going to go through in alphabetical order, so I should be able to do it this way and take a look at some of the players that have arrived at some of the teams, because they're still slowly building their teams. Nobody has finished yet. The transfer window is still open, but we get to see who has arrived at certain places. Arsenal have already picked up players like 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andrew Robertson, Casemiro is there, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 has gone back to Arsenal, which is interesting. Pedri, Asensio, Rodrigo, and Romelu Lukaku. Now we can kind of have a look at their senior squad and see how they got on and how they shaped up. So this is their first game of the season, and they did pretty well. Stealing goal, Trent, Marquinhos, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Robertson, Casemiro, Asensio and Pedri, Rodrigo, Gnabry, and Romelu Lukaku. Very interesting. So then if we go back onto Arsenal, then we drop ourselves down to Aston Villa. Villa haven't been as active in the transfer market, but I'm sure they will start to pick people up very soon. They've managed to sign themselves 3 goalkeepers though, so that's good. They've also got Benjamin Pavard and En-Nesyri as well. So a little bit of work required for Aston Villa, but I'm sure they'll get there. If we go through Brentford as well, not really picked up too many players. Obviously, players are wanted by hundreds of clubs in this database, so there's lots of competition going on. So they haven't picked up too many players either just yet. Brighton have done a little bit better. Jan Bednarek, Nicolas Otamendi in here as well. Ruggeri and Iago Aspas is a very interesting one. But I thought Brighton would go younger than that, but 36-year-old Iago Aspas, why not? Burnley are struggling. I've loaded up all the leagues in this one, so it's going to be interesting to see who has who at the end of the season. Obviously, the bigger clubs have a little bit more pulling power, so here we are at Chelsea. Alphonso Areola is there as well. Dayot Upamecano is an interesting one. Bruno Fernandes in a Chelsea shirt. Ousmane Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Harry Kane playing on the right midfield position. Harry Kane is now at Chelsea, wow, alongside Marcus Thuram as well. Crystal Palace have picked up a couple of interesting players. Anthony Elanga, Noni Mukiele, and Yeremy Pino as well. Very good pickups for Palace, actually. Very good pickups. Obviously, they need to flush out the rest of the team, but Pino, at the very least, will be worth a lot of money in a couple of seasons. Coates is over at Everton alongside Gio Reyna and Ansu Fati, which is very, very nice. Nothing really going at Fulham as well. Liverpool having a good time of it though. Ben White is there, Bastoni, Josko Gvardiol, Frankie de Jong, Kai Havertz, Grealish, Foden, Chiesa, and they are the ones who have signed Victor Osimhen. Luton Town actually doing real good business here early doors, which you love to see. Jonathan Tah's here, Callum Doyle from obviously Man City. Munoz is another pretty solid player as well, and they're spending £140,000 a week on St Maximin as well. Manchester City, pretty solid, as you would expect, probably one of the bigger teams here. Their big hitter that they have signed is Jude Bellingham. Yes, Bellingham is here alongside Kylian Mbappe, alongside Vinicius Jr. I have to have a look. They beat Brighton 4-0 on the starting game of the season. Vicario in goal, Araujo, Romero, Lucas Hernandez, Hakimi, Ugarte, Bellingham, Enzo Fernandez, Mbappe, Kulievski and Vinicius Jr. through the middle. that's a very good team, as you kind of would expect. Manchester United here, obviously I've not done my real name fix again yet, but they've got Bruno Guimaraes, Raheem Sterling, Jeremy Doku, and Darwin Núñez alongside 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪 as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who United do pick up. Newcastle not necessarily having all the reputation that they would need, potentially. Kolo Muani's there, Gerard Moreno, Rafinha, Hummel, Scalvini's a good pickup though for Newcastle, which is very nice to see. Kurt Zouma and Berardi over at Forest as well. Igor Akinfev. Well, we play a Mad Scientist retro database? No, he's 37 years of age here. He is there. But Sheffield United have picked up Benjamin Sesko, which is a very, very good pickup. Tottenham doing all right as well. Rico Lewis Diamonde, Ross Barkley's there, Cole Palmer, Victor Boniface. There's some interesting players at Spurs. West Ham, again, doing pretty well, starting off at the back as you would expect, but they have picked up Kobbie Mainoo. Keep your eyes on him potentially this year. We've got Wolves here, cheeky little Keylor Navas. They got Branthwaite, Buonanotte, Aymeric Laporte. So some interesting ones here, and there's Bournemouth as well. Brian Broby, kind of the main one. Tapsoba as well, an interesting player for Bournemouth to pick up. But that is the Premier League. We're going to have a look at some of the other teams in some of the other leagues a little bit later on. But I'm going to simulate a whole season because I want to see what these teams do. Who wins the Premier League? Who wins the Champions League? Let's get through a season and we are going to find out. So, flash forward to the end of the season, and this is how the Premier League table is looking. We're going to flick through some of the other leagues as well, just to see if we can see anything that's really caught our eye. Man City win the league in the Premier League, no surprise there. United come second, Liverpool in third, Tottenham in fourth, rounding that off. Arsenal dropping all the way down to seventh, but they have qualified for the Champions League, so we'll keep an eye on that. Sheffield United, the big risers, up in sixth in the Europa League spots. What on earth have they managed to do here with this team? De Vries is here. Mosquera is very good. Ben Godfrey, Leif Davis from Ipswich Town, Kondogbia. Team's pretty good. Fabio Carvalho, but Benjamin Sesko must have gone off, right? 15 goals. They didn't even start him that much behind Callum Wilson. But Chris Wilder doing Chris Wilder things, getting them up into sixth in the Premier League with this database. Jude Bellingham, highest average rated for City, also with the most assists, but there's some very interesting names here. I'm just going to go and have a look at the goal scoring charts. Kylian Mbappe, top goal scorer in the Premier League. Brian Broby coming in second. Callum Wilson for Sheffield United. Boniface, Darwin Núñez doing pretty good, 18 for him. 18 for Harry Kane as well, whilst he's at Chelsea. Some very interesting names and interesting combinations. United picked up Kevin De Bruyne and Valverde. Wow. Okay, so there are some crazy teams in here that they've been able to put together with their budgets and stuff like that. Burnley, Everton and Crystal Palace go down. Let's have a look at the Spanish First Division over in La Liga. Real Madrid win the league over here with Cody Gakpo being the top goal scorer. Let's have a look at this Real Madrid team, shall we? Let's see who they've picked up. Who is the most expensive? They've picked up Rodri, Konate, Gakpo, Locatelli, Mazraoui, Goretzka. Pretty good. I feel they've kind of been a little bit shortchanged here, but Carlo Ancelotti still winning the league regardless. Let's have a look at the Barcelona team. Their top player is João Cancelo. Diogo Jota's there as well. Yeah, obviously their budget not quite at the same level because of their financial spend, but you can kind of understand that. Over to the Bundesliga. Let's have a look at this. Bayern do win the league at a canter. No huge surprise. Let's have a quick look at their team. They have Marcus Rashford, Mason Mount, Jules Koundé is there as well. Pretty good, solid Bayern Munich team. It'd be very interesting to see how they get on in European competition. We will have a look at that shortly. Serie A is won by Lazio, who have obviously gone and recruited quite nicely. Who is playing for Sarri then? Luca Bella is a very good player. Ricky, very good. Not talking about him. Rafael Leao we've got. Rasmus Højlund is there as well. Nicholas Jackson, Charles de Ketelaere is there. So pretty good recruitment over in Italy. And then finally rounding off the top 5 leagues, we will take a look. And yes, of course, PSG win the league. And this is where Erling Haaland landed, people. He landed at PSG with Luis Diaz, Bernardo Silva, Declan Rice. Some very interesting combinations here. Let's have a super quick look at the Champions League, just to see who wins that. UEFA Champions League, yeah, that's what I thought. The winners are Arsenal. They did beat Real Madrid in that final. Arsenal's team of steel: Marquinhos, Kim Min-jae, Luke Shaw, Robertson, Casemiro, Trent playing in defence in midfield, doing the business with Romelu Lukaku and Casemiro getting the goal. that wins Arsenal the Champions League. I just want to have a look at this just to see how it all sets up in game. Here comes Marquinhos into Trent in midfield, goes for a long ranger. Pedri's there, gets fallen back to Lukaku, rifles it past the Madrid keeper on this instance, but Madrid did pull themselves level. Ball into Rafa, Rodriguez, edge of the area, Mazraoui, good move from Real Madrid there. But Arsenal did lift it with Casemiro scoring the winner, so I'm hoping it's some sort of banger. Here comes Pedri on the right-hand side. Back to Marcos Llorente, and he wins a header. Wow, at the far post. Casemiro winning Arsenal the Champions League. Let's drop down. The Europa League was won by Rennes. They win in that final with Roald Thomas beating Lazio. Absolutely dominated. I was going to say absolutely dominated Lazio, but this looks like such a dull game considering we've got all the detail turned on. And then finally, the Conference League was won by Fiorentina, beating Eintracht Frankfurt in that one. Some interesting players there. Jack Butland there, Malacia, Paul Torres, Pedro Porro. So some good pickups by some of these teams that aren't necessarily some of the big teams, but everyone has done very well. And this is a very interesting database, guys, and you can get your hands on it. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. And if this video has enough interest, I'll jump on stream. I'll take charge of Bristol City using this database, and we can see what team we can put together. Let's pop it at around 100 likes. Let's drop 100 likes on the video. I'll hop on twitch.tv/𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, and we will test this bad boy out in real life with my team, Bristol City. I'll be trying to sign that man, Alex Scott, back to the team. But hopefully you enjoy this database, guys. It's worlds of fun. It creates a completely different environment. Let me know who you choose to manage and who you manage to pick up if you do choose to use this database.